Welcome guys, what's going on? That's hectic music for the start of the stream, isn't it? I kind of want more of it, hang on. Oh, that's the end of the song. How are we doing, guys? Welcome, look at all the members. Are you about to do a DJ set? That'd be cool. Got the headphones, haven't I? Charlie, Ben, Andy, Spick and Span, Corey on cleaning, Martin. Been waiting all week for this. Oh, nice. That's cute. Oh, this one's a bit hectic, isn't it? It's enough of that. Right, this week we've had a lot going on. A little bit of an announcement coming up as well. Not an announcement for you guys, it's just something I'm quite excited about. Thanks, Soph. I've got my list. I've come prepared. Bunch of talking points. We've got a quote to do later on. This one's a little bit of a different quote. Got a big block paved drive, and then we've got a some gutters and a rear conservatory roof to clean as well. So I don't often quote conservatory roofs, so we can do that together. I'll be looking for advice on that one. Ross, how you doing? Look at all the members in the chat, man. It's beautiful. What I'd like, if it's okay. You done it? Oh, nice. Well done. If you guys don't mind, I haven't spoken to anyone since last week, just about about the whole WhatsApp group and the members thing. Like, are you guys pleased with the current state of the members section? I know I've not been putting anything on YouTube on the members side of things, but are you getting value from the WhatsApp group? Are you happy with the photo pack? There's obviously going to be more that I want to do with it in the future, but I just want to gauge how you're feeling about it right now. And also, what did you guys think of today's video, for those of you that have watched it? I've had some feedback in the WhatsApp group. Thanks for that. I've just really quickly rushed and done 2 quotes that I actually forgot about. James, you right, mate? Welcome. So I'm 1 minute late to starting the stream, sorry about that. I had a quote that I went to do on Tuesday. Was it Tuesday? When did I pick Luca up? No, Friday. Went to do a quote on Friday. Just have a look at it and take some pictures. And forgot to get back to her. And I also had a lady from Kenilworth contact me, which is about half an hour away. And she reminded me today, she said, have you got round to putting a price together? And I totally forgot about both of them. I think I've had quite a lot on my mind this week. I need my phone.
I need to plug them together to make sure we've got the same time.
Okay.
We'll get some space.
It's one slat that's broke on that bed. And then it's like here.
Yeah, that's where it felt like it was lower. Yeah.
Oh my god, there's a huge gap.
How do we do that?
Oh, I forgot to get my... I had a really good idea for starting the stream. I was going to have my new goggles on. And my new orange gloves. Damn it. That was going to be really funny as well. There you go, sir.
What time should I do it for? 10? We're getting the train.
We both got the day off.
Mhm.
Yeah, 10 sounds good. Yeah. Let me see what. 10. 10's fine. I put a picture in the WhatsApp group actually.
Where's it down here?
Where's this picture? There it is. There's my new goggles, look. And my new gloves. I actually wore them for the first time today. And they're the gloves are fine, they're perfect, do exactly what I want. The goggles, I'm a sweaty guy I reckon. And the goggles sort of steam and they go a bit hazy on the inside. And so I'm constantly having to like lift my shirt, pop them open and like squeegee them inside. And my view keeps going weird, like stuff looks like it's closer than it is. It's I like them and they protect my eyes perfectly. They're comfy. They're very comfy. They're only like £8. I need what I could do is find something to spray on the inside. You know, like you can get some stuff for your for your windscreen for your car, and it means the water just sort of beads off when it rains. You don't even have to. It's like non-window wiper spray. I'll have to get some of that. RB, you alright, mate? I like that you jet edged the grass line in the new video and made it look crisper. Yeah, so the reason I did that actually was one, to make it look better, and two, I knew I was going to come back and seal it. And if there's overhanging grass where you're trying to seal, where you're trying to run a roller, it's all just going to stick to it and you can't actually get to the edge. And so that was the only reason I was using the turbo nozzle there. Someone did comment and say I wouldn't recommend using the turbo nozzle on Indian sandstone, which I totally agree with, because you can, it's kind of like slate. If the water gets under it, it can like chip big chunks off, which I've done before. Where I was using it though, I was trying not to get too close. I wasn't using it on like any large slab faces. I was just using it on the corner along the grass line there. I knew the risks, I just sort of took them and it was fine, it paid off. Didn't cause any damage, so. The WhatsApp group's good, lots of helpful advice there when you're stuck on a job. Oh, thanks Andy. The WhatsApp group is awesome, lots of information, the members, good stuff. Thanks TrueFlow. I try and nip in when I can. I had a busy day today. I was on two fairly big jobs today. The one job that I'm about to show you was from like 2 streams ago, where we quoted it together. Don't the goggles have tiny air vents in the side? I think they do, yeah. I think they do. But I just must be extra misty. I'm a misty guy. So today we had this drive, which we quoted on stream last week. The colours on this drive were insane. I've got a video that I'm going to put together on this one, so I was so pleased with it. Look at that. Look at that transformation. You can't even tell that there's so many colours underneath all the muck. It's such a unique block paving as well. I've never actually seen block paving look like this before. Have you?
No. Wacky.
Wacky. And then the back was just beautiful. These are like, I feel like as a portfolio piece, you couldn't ask for anything more impressive than that, really, could you? If you're looking for something to advertise with. So this, I reckon once I'm done with all these pictures and stuff, I'll get like a full year's worth of pictures, or maybe 50 images like I did with the last picture pack, and then I'll just add them to the boosted tier. So you guys who have already had the 50 images that I've got on there currently, I'll add another 50 images when I get them and when I've used them myself, and I'll just keep adding to that, so hopefully you'll keep getting value from being like a boosted member. And then this was the second drive of the day. This one was actually a bit of a nightmare. They pulled their Tesla off the drive. There was a big oil stain over here. I don't know if you can see. I didn't really take a picture of it, but on the left here, there's a big oil stain. And I think I got it up. I think I actually cleared it, but you can't quite tell until it's dry. Like the oil stain can look totally gone when it's wet, but then as soon as the driveway dries up, it'll reappear again. So it's always hard to tell when you're there, but it was partially drying, and the jet wash, to be honest, got most of it up. And then when I put my degreaser on, I had like a tiny amount of degreaser left in the van from one of my other jobs, and I put it on, and normally when you brush it in and it foams up, the foam turns brown, so you can see like, oh, it's actively pulling the oil out of the surface. But when I put this on, there was no brown whatsoever. So I reckon whatever it was, I'd got most of it up with the jet wash anyway, and I think I've cleared it quite well actually. This was pointless, absolutely pointless piece of landscaping. I have no idea what they were thinking. There was no hole. So I pulled all these grates up, and there's just weeds, and you can tell someone had pressure washed the drive before and left all that muck and sand in there, because it was solid, absolutely solid. And but there was no hole in it. So even after I cleared it all out, scooped everything out of there, the water still ended up going into the road, and all the muck still went into the road because there was no drainage hole. Totally pointless. Let's catch up on some messages. I cut the new video short to come on here first time on the live. Ah, thanks mate. Did you see, RB, when you're watching my video, can you see that I'm live anywhere? Does it say live in the bottom corner or something? Is that how you knew to come and join the live stream? I'm interested to know whether when I upload a video like that and like a new viewer tunes in, can they also see that I'm live? Is there something that notifies them on the screen? Connor, you're right mate. How's it going? Got my first ceiling job. Are there any cheap sprayers I could use? Does it have to be metal one like you have? No, it doesn't. You can use any sort of garden sprayer. I think Screwfix do like a little £12 one or something like that. B&Q do like quite a nice garden sprayer. That was about 30 quid. But you can just use any of those like weed sprayers. It's not perfect, like it's not great, but it works. It just means you've got to keep filling it up. I think they're only like 5 or 10 litres. The beauty of the one that I've got is it's 13.5 litres, and because it's such like a heavy duty sprayer, you can pump it for a while, and then you can use it for a long time before you have to stop and pump it up again. Whereas those little garden sprayers, you pump it, spray it, and then you get, and then you've got to keep pumping it, and you've got to basically pump it more often. It's a lot of hard work. The other thing about those little weed sprayers is they don't have Viton seals, and so there's a chance that the xylene, if your sealer's got xylene in it, or any other sorts of thinners, or anything that's like harmful to standard seals, like for example if you put in hypo in it, it will just degrade those seals. And so at some point you'll, like with the one I've got, the garden sprayer, I started pumping it up and hypo started coming out the end of it before I'd even pressed the trigger, because the seals had obviously gone, and as soon as it had pressure in it, it just started leaking. I don't think you'll have such an issue with... Steve-O has become a boosted member. Thank you, mate. Welcome to the club. What was I saying? Yeah, I don't think you'll have such a problem with sealer through one of those. I think it's mainly things like hypo and biocide. What sort of surface are you sealing, Connor? I'd say sprayer is definitely a good idea for block paving rather than like a roller, because rollers just pick up all the sand and you end up spreading sand over the surface of the blocks and it sets. There's nothing you can do about it. Like, I've been there, I've done that exact thing, and it's horrible. It ruins the job. But if it's like a patio or something, slabs, I'd recommend doing a roller instead. How are you tackling oil stains? I've had a customer who wants the oil stain removing. About 7 square meters. 7 square meters of oil. Don't know how to price it or to tackle it. No nonsense degreaser, would you recommend? I've used that in the past. That's exactly what I used today on this drive actually. No nonsense degreaser, just because I had a bit in the van. I wasn't expecting to see this stain here today because she hadn't mentioned it. But luckily I had like a drip in the van and it worked. Seemed to have worked perfectly. I've used it quite a lot in the past on stains, oil stains. The other product you can try, which I recommend quite often, is something that I'm going to start using on oil stains, is Synergy from Pure Seal. So for block paving, this is like a heavy duty degreaser. There's a chance that you'll be left with like a residue, like a cloudiness of the oil, and so in that situation, so this will get rid of most of it. So if you're, rather than using a concentrated expensive oil stain remover on a massive area, get rid of the majority of it with Synergy. You can do like multiple applications. You can even dilute Synergy, like you can dilute it to like 10 to 1, or you can put it on 50-50 with water, and that will clear most of the oil. So that's a cheaper way of doing it rather than using something like this, which I'd recommend using afterwards. So because this one's super concentrated, once you've cleared the majority of the stain, you can go in with this then, because this is slightly more expensive. You only get 1 litre of this stuff, but it's like a lot more concentrated. And I bought this the other day to give it a try. I've not actually used it yet, but I've heard good results. Yeah. I help Shag. You're right, mate. How do you price ceiling for 55 meters squared? There's a lot to consider there, Connor. What sort of surface is it, and are you pricing just sealing or just or washing, sanding and sealing? Drainage, water pressure, what quality of sealer are you going to use, how are you going to apply it? There's quite a lot to think about. But once you've added up all your materials and costs, and you estimate how long it's going to take you, say half a day, literally just grab your day rate, you know, half it, and then make sure you've accounted for your roller sleeves, your roller tray, any gloves you might need, if you need xylene to clear up your tools afterwards. You know, just price it all in to the first job, divide that by 55, and then you'll have your price per square meter. Do you know what I mean? Work out the quote, how much it's going to cost you and how much labour you want from it, divide it by 55, and then that can be your price per square meter for ceiling going forward. And that's what I've started to do. Zach, welcome. Thank you guys for joining the cult. I need to stop calling it a cult. I don't know if YouTube allows cults. Oh, you knew it was 7:30. Okay, no worries. Thanks for letting me know. I don't get notifications even though I've turned it on. Look at that. Luckily, I know what time you go live. Oh, cheers, Martin. Thank you. That's weird, isn't it? Oh, it is block paving. Okay. I get notified on my phone, and I was able to connect instantly, but took a few minutes for the TV to connect or find the live, even though they're linked. That's weird. So Steve-O and Zach, thank you so much for becoming members. Cheers, guys. If you drop me a message on WhatsApp, I'll add you to the private WhatsApp group. Shaban, let me know if anything I just said was helpful. Managed to book it?
Yeah.
Good job.
72 quid reduced a day.
You're such an organiser. Well done. Can we make Monday nights, you know, when you go swimming and you come back? Can we make Monday nights McFlurry nights? You were going past McDonald's on the way home.
I literally have no money already.
I'll send you something. I think I've got about £5 in my wallet, if you want to grab that in change. Oh, I need some for playgroup tomorrow. Maybe you can have a look.
Where is your wallet?
How you doing, Charlie? You alright? Had a good week? It's Just get it, come on. Come on.
You want the McFlurry?
Come on. So that was that job. Came up good. Quite happy with it. I've started treating all of my block paving jobs with hypo now. I used like three quarters of a 25 litre tub today just on 2 jobs. I mean, they're fairly decent sized jobs, to be fair. 5-to-1 mix. Oh, here we go. This is the no nonsense degreaser from Screwfix. See, the foam is white, and if there was like heavy oil staining there, the foam would go brown, and it didn't. So I think the pressure washer got rid of the majority, and then I just rinsed it down afterwards. Let it dwell for like 15 minutes, rinsed it off, and I'll be going back Wednesday to resand. And she's also got some blocks up here. Oh, she's sleeping with a cat. Cutie. I don't know if you can see over here. She's got some sunken blocks. In fact, on both of these properties. Well, there's the hypo, look. On both of these properties, there are sunken blocks, which I'm going to have a go at fixing for them. So there's one area here, one area here. This will all be in the video next week, by the way. There's an area there. Why can't I zoom in? Right there, near where the mouse is. Yeah, you can't really see, but there's sunken blocks on the step up here. Peter, welcome. And so I'm literally just going to take some sharp sand with me. Nick, you're right. Take some sharp sand with me. Pop those blocks out. Pour the sharp sand in. Pat it down with like some sort of block. block of wood or something. Get it nice and level. Sit the blocks back in there. Tap them down with a mallet, and then brush the new kiln dried sand in over the top, and hopefully it all blends in nicely. I've done it a few times in the past. Not terribly confident doing it, but I know with enough focus and patience, I can get it looking half decent. I've said to both customers, this is not my forte. I'm not a landscaper, but I can definitely give it a go. Obviously, I'm charging them both for it, and they're happy to pay. What was going through the letterbox outside tap? Oh, so on this job, I had to post the water supply. It came through the back garden, through the letterbox, into the van. Because the last thing I want to do, the garage just went through to an extension, so that wouldn't have gone anywhere. But going through the house, going through the front door, if that front door is slightly open, and I'm pressure washing in that area, so much muddy water is going to go through that little gap into the house, even if I'm not making contact with the door, if I'm just pressure washing around it. And then on top of that, when I'm rinsing the door down, it's just going to get covered and soaked. So if I can do it through like a little hole like that, or a top window or something, that's so much better than having like an open door that it's got to go through. Oh yeah, Big Todd. You're right, mate. Spot on, mate. No worries. Good advice. I've got a block paving to clean tomorrow, and sand and seal on Wednesday. Awesome, Steve-o. Good luck with that. Is this one of the first ones you've done, or are you fairly experienced, or are you quite new to the game? RB says, I'm a newbie. I'm planning to get a pressure washer. You recommended to start. Is there a big difference in speed of work and quality of finish between the pressure washer and the one you have? Yes. Not necessarily quality, because with patience, you're achieving the same result. You're just going to get there a lot quicker with a more powerful machine. Should I be concerned that so many people are now buying that machine that I recommended from Parker? Like, I thought it was a good machine, but what if other people buy it and have horrible experiences with it? It's the only other machine I've ever known. I feel like I should contact them and just say, look, if you've noticed an increase in sales in this particular pressure washer over the last 2 years, not 2 years, it's probably been about a year since I made that video, then I'd be happy to get some commission from the sales. Also, anything I say, just take with a pinch of salt. I feel like I have this platform where I get to speak to you guys and answer questions and stuff, but I'm not necessarily right, and I want you guys to know that all the answers that I'm giving you come from my experience, and there's probably many people that are way more qualified than me, and that could probably give more accurate and better answers than I can. And so just whatever I say, just bear that in mind. This is why, like, when people call me a professional, I don't feel like I'm quite at that level yet, because I've only been going myself for like 2 years, so I've learned a lot. But just bear that in mind. Oh, awesome, mate. That's the same machine that I've got, the 3700 PR. Yeah, if you can get a different unloader on that with the return to tank, that'll definitely help. Do you do brickwork, aciding and washdown on site? If not, would you consider it? I actually quoted was it Taylor Wimpey? Taylor Wimpey? I think it's Taylor Wimpey. Because I knew one of the area managers or regional managers, and it didn't go ahead. I think we just sort of lost contact and stopped talking about it. But I'm glad, because I don't think I'd enjoy it one bit, to be honest. So what Big Todd is referring to is when when there's a new build, when there's a new house been put up, and they do all the pointing on the brickwork on the side of the house, a lot of the time, especially where the scaffold's been sat, you get like they call it a snot line. So you get these lines of basically build up of mortar, and there's lots of mortar staining all over the bricks. It depends on how much of a neat job they've done, the builders. But the way that you remove that is generally with an extendable lance. Those really unruly, horrible extendable lances that bend when you pull the trigger. And you do an acid wash beforehand. Somehow you get the acid up there, and that dissolves all the mortar, and then you do like a low pressure wash on it. And to be honest, working with acid, like this contract was going to be like 3 times a week, 3 houses a day, and I just don't know if I want to be working with acid that often. Charlie's a circle member. Welcome, buddy. And Holloway. Oh, Holloway's subscribed. Charlie's become a circle member. I feel like I owe you, Charlie, for the amount of advice you've given me through DMs and stuff. Craig, you're right, mate. How you doing? There's so many members in here today. Ryan at Curbside has done a good little video on sunken block repairs. Main tip is to take a photo before you start so you know what goes where. Oh, awesome. That's a good idea. So you know which blocks go in which direction, especially when you've got like these blocks on screen at the moment. They're fairly sort of easy because they're all quite similar. But with the blocks that sort of go in patterns like that, it's difficult to know where to start and where to end, and which, you know. And also, like, only take out the ones you absolutely need to take out. Evening, Stephen, sorry. True Flow, did you ever jump on with others to get experience when you first started? The only person I helped was a chap called CMJ, and we did a roof clean together. Oh my god, that's the actual job. There we go, look. So this chap, we did a roof together over in Birmingham, and I'd never done a roof clean. I'd never used these extendable lances. I'd never been up a tower before. The job ended up being a lot bigger than what I was expecting when he quoted it, and he told me what was involved. And then I got there, and actually there was like an additional rear patio to clean, additional wall outside the front to clean, and that was a tough day. We started at like, I think we started at 8, and I didn't leave till gone 5 o'clock, and he was still there like past 7 o'clock, I think. But it was like an hour journey for me as well, so I had to go. And he basically spent all day on the roof while I cleaned the rear patio, cleaned the drive, and also helped out with the roof, because it's knackering. Like, it's a difficult job holding the lance in the air for that long. So that's the only other time I've worked on another job with someone. Evening, Josh. How you doing? My favourite Monday night show. Who needs EastEnders Coronation Street when you have Jake? Oh dear. Where's my star? What, have you joined? Have you become a member? Stephen? Wait, I'm confused. Wait, Stephen, you were one of the first members. I feel special with the star. Oh, you're not a member? Oh no, it doesn't matter. I was thinking of someone else. I think we've got a different Stephen that's that was one of the early members. Bear with me just a sec. Oh, I've got some cool stuff to talk about this week. I want to show you guys a video. So where's my star then? Alright Gary, sorry I missed your message. Sorry mate. How you doing, buddy? I'm feeling quite positive this week. I know it's only Monday, but feeling pretty good. I had a very busy day today. I don't normally do like 2 big drives like that, because those were pretty big jobs for me, little old me on my own. And on top of that, I thought I had a pop tyre again, but I didn't, it was just low. So luckily I managed to get to the garage. Luke! Hello Luke. You alright mate? So, a job that I haven't really posted about on YouTube. I wanted to film this one, but also I wanted to like respect the privacy of the owners. And this was a job that I got through Elk, which is a grounds maintenance business who occasionally subcontract work out to me. Look at this place. Welcome Luke. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, you guys, for anyone who's become a new member today, just send me a text on WhatsApp. You should have the details in the members section on the YouTube channel, and I will add you to the WhatsApp group. Daddy's a regular around here. Oh, thanks, Gary. Thanks, mate. So this one was tough. I'll just say that. This was a big old clean. It felt like, what did I measure it at? I'm sure I measured it. I'm sure it was only 150 square meters, but it felt way bigger. I'm gonna have to find the actual measurements because oh, here we go. Oh, the block paved pool area, 150 meters squared. I mean, that don't seem right. It looks a lot bigger than that. But they've also got like another 400 square meter long driveway and big courtyard area that we've also quoted for. And I met the owner the other day, and he's like a lovely old guy. And he asked me to actually clean this pool cover off because I did get it dirty. And I said to him when he popped down when I was resanding the other day, I said, I've never cleaned a poolside before, and I've been stressing, wondering how I'm going to stop the dirt going into the pool. And he said, oh, you couldn't have, you wouldn't have been able to, like. So he totally understood, like it was difficult. But we pulled the pool cover out onto the tennis court and just did like a low pressure wash on it just to clean it off after I'd finished sanding. And he was pleased with the results. My only issue with this one was the amount of black spots that were left over. I don't know if you can see down here, look. Still a lot of black spots. And I did do a hypo treatment. quite a strong one. But it was such a big area that you just, if you go in for like a second or a third treatment, the amount of hypo you're going to get through would just be insane. But I was pleased with it, and the owner was too, and I think I made a good impression when I was chatting to him and stuff. And so hopefully we get the 400 square meter, you know, the rest of the job on the other side of the property. Big old area. Luke, thanks again for choosing to become a member, mate. I appreciate it. Do Toolstation sell the fittings for the 90mm yellow hose? They don't, which is very annoying. So you can get them off Amazon, or you can get them. I got mine from the middle aisle in Lidl, but I doubt they'll have them there anymore. I'm sure you can get 90mm fittings from. Someone mentioned it in the group chat the other day. Does anyone remember where someone recommended a place? I can't remember. Bit of an awkward question, and about money too. I'm currently a groundworks foreman. Money's pretty good, though the site work seems to be drying up with what's going on in the economy. I'm currently thinking of setting up myself partially due to yourself and your videos. I'm just worried. Sorry, I'm butchering this. I'm struggling to read. I'm just worried about money being enough to cover my bills with having a young family. Is there any advice? Is there any advice you would give me in my scenario? I think if your main drive is money, then you might be disappointed in the first year, maybe year and a half, with the amount of money you're able to generate from starting a pressure washing business from scratch. This is just me being totally honest with you. If you're driven by money, then perhaps starting your own business is not necessarily a good route for you. If you're driven by being hungry to be your own boss, work your own hours, decide on your own clientele, freedom, potential earning cap, because I feel like in the job that you're in at the moment, you have a cap to where your potential earning stops. Even if you're promoted to the next level and the next level, there's always a cap to your earning, whereas when you're self-employed, your work and your drive dictates that cap, and so you're always in control of your, sounds cringy, you're always in control of your own destiny when you work for yourself, I feel like. And this is just something I understood over the last 12 months or so, is that working for yourself now, it's up to me how hard I work, and it's up to me how much money I earn. If I want to put in the work, I can earn more money, and it literally translates as more work equals more money, and it's as simple as that. If you're I suppose this is fairly good advice for anyone that's just started. If you've put a few things up and then you sit back and you cross your arms, and then you're just waiting for the calls to come in, and you wait another week, and then you get annoyed that there's no calls coming in, and you thought, oh, I did everything I could, and you know, it hasn't worked, and so I'm going to sell all the equipment I've just bought, and I'm going to pack it in, and I'm going to go and try something else. It doesn't work like that. You've got to do something every single day I've said this before, do something every single day that contributes to the success of your business. Doesn't matter how big or small it is, but it's a snowball effect. And it'll, a year down the line, you'll be in a position that you couldn't have imagined just because you put the work in a little bit every day. So whether it's a bit of advertising, networking with, God, the amount, I was saying this the other day, the amount of work I've got from playgroup, where I take my daughter every Tuesday morning, because I'm chatting to all the other mums. I'm the only bloke there, and I'm chatting to all the other mums, and they're asking me like what I do for work and stuff. I said, I started my own business a couple of years ago, and what do you do? And I need this doing, I need that doing, and I know Shirley wants hers doing as well, because she was asking me the other day. And it's just like, if money is the only driving factor, I understand where you're coming from, because it was the same for me as well. It's such a risk when you've got a mortgage and you've got kids and you've got car insurance and direct debits and potentially debt. It's such a risk to say, do you know what, I'm going to pack in my my really well paid full-time job, and I'm going to risk it all and go and start my own business. Well, I wouldn't recommend that either. I would recommend doing what I do, or what I did, and start your business on the side. It doesn't matter what business it is, doesn't matter whether it's pressure washing, doesn't matter whether it's carpentry, whether it's building websites for people, whether it's plastering. Just start doing it. Just begin. Doing friends and family, doing stuff around your own property. Slowly invest in bigger and better equipment, techniques, learning, and gradually let it build and keep working towards something. And don't stop, because the people that stop never succeed. The people that keep switching, thinking, oh, this isn't working. You can make anything work, you can make money from anything these days, but not if you're not consistent. You just got to keep going, doing one thing, absolute focus on this one goal. Because I was very all over the place when I was like 25. I was panicking, so I'm thinking I'm approaching 30 and I need to have it all figured out, so I'm going to start thinking about business opportunities and stuff. And I knew I'd had this like entrepreneurial mindset where I was probably eventually going to be my own boss, but I was trying so many different things and giving up so quickly when they didn't work that I never fully allowed myself to commit to one thing. It's very difficult. I think the thing that did it is I pitched the idea of a pressure washing business to Sophie, my girlfriend, and it was like one of the only ideas that she hasn't sort of rolled her eyes at or seemed sort of disinterested in or picked holes in. She sort of said, oh, that actually sounds good. I showed her like, I can make this much money on a job. This is the initial investment to get like a small starter kit. I can do it, weekends, evenings. And like, I think that's what pushed me. I was like, oh, she thinks it's a good idea. What playlist is this on Spotify? Always looking for new background music. Josh, this is gaming music for YouTube and Twitch. Copyright free. That one. It's the only one that hasn't demonetized all my videos so far, so that's the one I'm going to stick with. Big Todd, I don't know if I answered your question in that rant, but I hope I pointed you in the right direction at least. Luke, that's the same advice that I would have given, mate. Yep. Start doing it on evenings or weekends. 400 square meter driveway. Wow, that's some serious cash monies. So if we get the driveway, if I get the driveway, if they accept the quote, they've already said they're trying to pick themselves up off the floor after the price that I gave. But I just say, look, it's a price per square metre. That's just what the price is, unfortunately. The amount of sand that I'd need as well, and you know, it's all considered in the cost. So for that job, I'll be looking at getting Squeaky Clean Dave from YouTube and Instagram. He's going to come and help me with it, I think, as long as I can give him enough notice for it, and we'll do it together. That'd be awesome. That's a little screenshot from the latest video. Just got my 19mm fittings from Rutland Pumps. There you go. Rutland Pumps. Lidl had them for 99p each. Yeah, that's where I got mine from. Did you turbo nozzle it or use a surface cleaner? I used a turbo nozzle, Craig, on that big pool area. It killed me off. It was about 4.5 hours constant pressure washing. The only time I stopped was when the fuel ran out on my machine. Wise words, mate. I'm new, but I'm struggling with the work, but not letting it affect me too much as I'm doing something to make the company better. Yeah, exactly. Just keep going. And don't let it be your only... Don't put all your eggs in one basket. It's not to say... don't test the water. Don't say, I'll try it for a month and see what it's like. I think you've got to fully commit. Maybe give it like a year. Fully commit for a year. So I'm going to do this on the side for a year, and I'll see where I am in 12 months' time. And if it's still... If you still don't feel like you're getting the ball rolling with it, then maybe that's a good time to stop. But don't stop after a week of not getting any calls. Don't stop after a month. You know, it takes a while for word of mouth to spread. I'd say now 70% of the work that I get through comes from I do a good job on someone's house and they recommend me to their mum, their nan, their neighbour. 70% of the work comes from recommendations, and it takes a while for that for the spider web, for the feelers to go in all these different directions. But people do recommend you. You do a good job and you're friendly and you're nice to deal with. I'll tell you what, it's less about the price. It's absolutely less about the price, because people are willing to pay for a good service, and it's more about your personality and do a good job. And they might say, oh, you know, he's expensive, but he does a good job. Be the person that you would send to your nan's house to have work done. Do you know what I mean by that? Like, if I had to recommend a contractor to go to my nan's house, I know there's like 4 people I'd recommend to go and do that, because I know they're going to put her at ease. They're not going to rip her off. They're personable, and I know they'll do a good job. Be that person, and the word will spread, I can assure you. Hello all, Mark, you're right. MIDI QR or large QR fittings? It depends on what machine you've got. I'd say upwards of like 15 litres per minute. You might want to go for the large, just because... Is there a flow difference? I can't see any good images of them side by side. So the machine that I used from pressure washer sales and service, they had the large ones. Can I search in my own page? This machine here. So this was still only, 15 litres per minute, but that had the large quick release fittings on the lance and on the unloader. So you need slightly different fittings for. So the one I've got are just the MIDI ones. Yeah. Luckily I own a web developing company still, so I'm not too reliant on the pressure washing. If you need any web work, nice, that's good to know. Yeah, it's good to just not put all your eggs in one basket basically, and just I would never recommend to anyone that you just leave your job and start a business. You've got to feed it in slowly. I feel like I'm trying to be too perfect when using the turbo nozzle. Takes me 2 hours for 30 square meters. Craig, what sort of machine have you got? I don't think there's any such thing as being too perfect. I mean, if you're trying to get every single black spot with a turbo nozzle, I think you're wasting your time. I think you could much easily do that work with chemicals. So pass over the whole surface with the turbo nozzle, and if you still got black spots, you want to treat that with chemicals rather than trying to get every black spot with the turbo. I've seen people try and do that before, and it's like, I understand chemicals are scary, and you need to learn about them and stuff. I get it, but it's going to save you so much time. See, the 750, the Wilkes machine. Sorry, Craig, we were talking about it in the group chat, weren't we? I mean, your flow isn't going to be anything near to the machine that's on screen at the moment, and so yes, it's going to take you longer. Like, there's nothing really you can do about that until you get to the point where you can upgrade. As long as you do a good job, it doesn't matter. You will get more efficient the more you do it. Exactly. How much did you charge on the Tesla drive job? It looked tiny. I mean, it was a two car drive, roughly. It wasn't tiny. It was I should have got a better. There we go. That's a better picture of it. You could probably fit like 3 cars on there. I can't remember square meterage wise. Let me check. So it's a 50 meter square driveway, pressure wash 185, resanding 30 pounds, 215 quid, plus the additional resetting of the few little blocks. What do you guys think of that price? Are we around about right there? Stephen, wow, congrats. Electric Start GX390 going straight in there. Is this your first machine? Luke says I have until January to get the £6,000 total for kit. The goal being no loans, high-end kit, have a landscaper I live next to who's being pestered for pressure washing, hoping not to have missed the boat. That's a good goal. So you're saving £6,000 by January, and that means you'll be in a position where you don't need to get any loans, and you'll have enough money to buy like a decent starter kit. It's not even a starter kit, that's a significant investment to a good pressure washing kit. I mean, that's a great way to start, rather than increasing your outgoings by getting loans and finance and more direct debits. If you're planning on starting your own business, you want to reduce all those outgoings as much as possible. Arden says, I have larger on my 21 litre per minute machine. I have larger on my 21 litre per minute machine. Are the larger QR fittings? Yeah, I think they're just generally beefier, and I've got a feeling they're you get more flow through them. Going for a 21 litre per minute V400 Rutland pumps. Yeah, spec. I think the Wilkes machine, I think people generally understand that it's like an entry into the market. Like, this will get you through your first, 10 to 15 jobs, but you're going to want to upgrade pretty quickly, I think. £3.70 per square metre. Is that what that works out at? Plus sand. So it's about £4.30. Yeah, it's £4.30 per square metre, including sand. Do you guys want to see what I've been up to? Few things. I discovered that my surface cleaner fits on top of my ladders on the van, and it's still very secure. So that means I've got more space in the van for toys, for new toys. And the new toys that I've been looking at is this. Look. So this, I went to see this the other day. I met the boys over at H2O. The boys over at H2O Restoration in Bromsgrove, which is the next town across from me. They have this machine that they were planning on building up and using as like a spare rig, just in case. I guess just in case they had any problems with the kit that they're using. And so this machine is, I believe, a Honda GX 660. With a mount, with a frame, electric start, with a battery. In that box there's a brand new Rutland Pumps 30 litre per minute pump with the gearbox, unloader, that high pressure reel. They said I mentioned to them that I was thinking about upgrading soon, Told him the sort of spec of my machine and stuff, and he said, "Oh, we've got this in the corner. If you're interested, I can get it priced up for you." So 30 litre per minute frame mounted Honda machine with a brand new pump, electric start. It's very tempting, is what I'd say. And the thing that makes it even more tempting is that I said I probably can't afford it. I said I would love that machine. You know, they're going to build it all up, literally have it ready to go, serviced. And I said it's very tempting, but I probably can't afford it, but I'd appreciate if you could price it up for me anyway, just in case. And the reason it's very tempting is because they said also, if you can't afford it, we'd be happy to take installments. So they sent a price over to me this afternoon, and it's looking like we might get it done. I'm going to talk to Soph about it first, just to make sure I'm not making silly decisions. But I feel like this kit, if you were to buy that engine new, I know it's not a new engine, but if you were to buy that engine new, and then the pump on its own is like $1,000, and then the frame, and then the fuel tank, and then the battery, and then the reel, the unloader, the gearbox. I feel like it's a good, you know, $6 to $8 including VAT. Comes with everything. So I've put, just to confirm, Honda 660, brand new pump, high pressure reel, fuel tank, battery, all mounted to the blue frame. It's already serviced, and it will also have a brand new carb. It does have an hour clock, but there's no battery. So on these bigger machines, they have a clock on the side of it, so you can see how many hours the machine's been used for. The engine isn't a recon engine. I'm sure he said it was a recon or reconditioned engine, but maybe I misheard. It's been serviced every 100 hours. So what I'd like to do, I've got a week off coming up, and what I'm thinking is if I can pick that frame up, we'll test fit everything, and then if I can pick the frame up and send it off to get powder coated in orange so that it matches all my stuff. How cool would that be? You'll need to get a bigger buffer tank for that beast. Well, I'm planning on just still running it at a similar pressure to what I'm running at the moment, and then when I need 30 litres per minute, then I can turn it up. I mean, I suppose on, you know, the block paving jobs, 30 litres per minute through a different turbo nozzle. I'll have to upgrade all my equipment. I'll have to upgrade the turbo nozzle, the lance, the ends of the hose, the jets on the surface cleaner, and possibly even the surface cleaner itself. So there's going to be a lot of additional expense that comes on top of that. But I'm going to need to upgrade at some point anyway, so I just feel like this is such an opportunity. And it's exactly what I want with the frame mounted. The reel's going to sit up above the machine. I'm going to have two reels on top, one low pressure, one high pressure, to pull both out. I'm talking like I've already made up my mind. You know what I mean? Do you seal every job or offer it as an extra? No, Craig, I don't. No. There's only a few jobs where I'd recommend it being sealed, depending on what the customer wants. I actually put a guy off of sealing today when I went to quote. We'll do the quote together in a minute. I'll show you the pictures. And I just said on an area this size, with the size of the joints that you've got, I feel like the cost of the sealer is going to outweigh the benefit. Because the sealer, to price up the cost of the sealer and the labour to apply the sealer, that could potentially pay for like 2 additional cleans in the future. So, can you guys see this? See all that all over my hand? It's all sealer from that video I did today, and the one that went live today. I forgot to put my gloves on when I started, and as you're rolling, it sort of sprays everywhere. It sprays up. When you roll back towards yourself, it's spraying all over my boots, all over my hands. And because it's sealer and it's supposed to last a long time, it's just all over my hand now. I've showered twice, scrubbed it with some of that grainy soap, and it's still not coming off. 30 litres per minute, just madness. Gonna wash the drives away. Yeah, Ellis. Yeah, you certainly wouldn't need 30 litres per minute all the time. And I'd want to get like a pressure gauge on the outside of this. This is the thing I want with my machine, so that I can get a workflow for each surface, like tarmac, concrete, block paving. I want to get a workflow where I can adjust the pressure and test, make sure I'm happy with the results on that job, and write that pressure down. So next time I come to do a tarmac job, I know exactly what pressure to turn the unloader down to. So I think with this one, rather than mucking about with the revs too much, I'm just going to use the unloader to adjust the pressure and get it exactly where I want it on the dial. You'll need to get a bigger buffer tank. Yeah, so sorry, I missed a message. That influencer discount? No, not at all. It's literally we live nearby. They invited me to come over and have a look at their workshop and have a coffee and stuff. I've been following all their content on Facebook, and I think they've followed mine as well. And we're very like-minded. We had a good long chat, and I feel like we're on the same page about stuff. They actually offered to. They're looking at franchising, and they wanted me to be a part of it, but I sort of explained like I'm sort of building something for myself here with my name on everything. My grandma was really proud when she saw my name on the van, and like I wouldn't want to give that up to go to sort of work for someone else again. Like, I know it's a franchise and you're still your own boss, but I'm trying to build my own thing here. What I'm hearing is you'll need to sell your stuff at a discount to one of your members. Not a bad idea, Craig. Who's got first dibs on my stuff? My machine, my reel, potentially my buffer tank, although I haven't really got room for a bigger one. My lances. Who's got first dibs on all that then? Maybe I could do a giveaway. You thought about getting a bigger van? Yeah, again, it's more money in it. I'm tight, so I don't want to buy a bigger van if I don't necessarily need it right now. I'm trying to work I'm trying to be as frugal as possible with my money. And so stuff like this makes sense, where if I'm eventually going to be at this point anyway, buying it all new in the future, why not get a good used local machine from someone I know can fix it if it goes wrong, build a relationship with that company. It just seems right. It seems like it was meant to be. It was too convenient that it just sort of happened that way, Is the Screwfix sealer any good? Yeah, for a budget. if you're on a budget and the customer isn't too specific about the finish that they're after, if they literally just want their drive sealed, there's nothing wrong with that screw fix sealer. It's not going to last as long as some of the higher quality sealers out there, but Buddy's Insight: make your own frame and mount your own reels. I made mine with 3/4 inch plywood and a bit of framing. It's absolutely perfect. I would send you a picture if I could. Feel free to send me a picture on Instagram or something, but I was thinking for a while, I've been pricing up engines and pumps and then the cost of the metal and stuff, because I don't want wood. I feel like with the amount of leaks and stuff I have in my van, the last thing I want is a wooden frame, and I think it looks a bit unprofessional. I'd prefer to have metal, and to have it powder coated in my orange as well. Ooh. Ooh. If that's 6 to 8 grand brand new, and you're say you're getting it for 4 to 5 grand, needs some serious consideration. It will take you to the next level. Well, Luke, I mean, I haven't mentioned how much I'm potentially getting it for yet, so it could be even more of a bargain than what you're. How many coats do you use, or just follow instructions? Generally, probably 2 coats. On block paving, 2 coats with most sealers. Can you load all your stuff in the boot of my car? I don't think. I met a guy the other day that I'm potentially doing some commercial work with, and he's working out the back of a Ford Puma, like a brand new one, and he's hoiking his equipment in and out the back of this Ford Puma. I'm like, that's the last thing I'd be using my brand new car to do. Nice idea on the giveaway, but shouldn't you keep the machines as spares? Yeah, probably. Yeah, I just don't really have the space to store it at home, to be honest. If I had a spare machine, I'd probably keep a small one like that Parker one. I'm thinking about getting the Parker one back off my friend that I gave it to, and repairing the pump and using it for little jobs, because there's a job today that I quoted that I can't get access to round the back because everything's mounted in the van and I can't get the van near the property. I have to walk up a path, and if I had that little Parker machine, I could just take it with me through the house. Can't put big special machine like that in a leaky van. No. Oh, well, yeah. You're talking about the oil leak on the van. Yeah. Cleaning drives whilst leaking oil. Yeah, I do need to get that fixed. It's a good van. It's a solid van. It's just a little... There's a few bits that I'd... Yeah. You have a pressure gauge on your machine? Yeah, I mean, once the pressure gauge is on and you pull the trigger, you can see what pressure you're working at, and then just turn. I'm assuming you can just turn the unloader valve to drop the pressure to where you want it, and then write that down. So that's my pressure for tarmac. That's my pressure for concrete, etc., etc. To be fair, you should hang on to your existing setup, because if the system goes down, you have a backup. Yeah. The start of the Orange Brigade. This is that pool when I was resanding it. Luckily the guy had some bags of sand over here. He had 4 bags of kiln dried sand. I took 10 with me, and 10 wasn't enough. I thought that was going to be way more than what I needed, so I ended up using 4 of his at the end. In the end, yeah, he had 6 in total, so I ended up using 4 of his and 10 of mine. You see all the black spots? I wasn't happy with it. I wasn't very happy at all, but there's a point of like The customer's well pleased. The customer said it's absolutely transformed it. It's so much brighter. It's brilliant. But when I'm standing close to it, and I'm zooming in. It's like, oh, that is not my standard. But on an area that big, if you're gonna, the amount of chemicals you can use to potentially not even get rid of the black spots, to cover a surface area, to cover 150 square meters in hypo, and potentially it's still not get rid of the black spots, just seemed like a point of diminishing return. Didn't really make sense to me to do it. Oh, this is the chap that's Buddy's Insight has just sent me a picture with his wooden mount. You see that? That's good, that is. That's very neat. That is a neat van. Oh, you got your high pressure reel right at the top as well. That's cool. I like that. Looks like you've done a good job there. Oh, you've partitioned it as well to keep your valuables safe. That's a good idea. So with the back doors being open all the time, I hadn't thought about that. Did your error cause the split hose or fault with it? Did my error? No, it's just the corner of that reel. The corner of that hose reel was very sharp. I've fixed that hose now. I've put a new one in, and I've also padded it out with foam. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. Oh, let me show you what I turned up to on Sunday morning. I went back to resand a driveway in Shirley, and the lady knew I was coming. I literally texted her the night before, I think, and on that morning to say I'll be with you by, I think it was like 9 o'clock. And I arrived. Can anyone see a problem with this picture? So, same with the ones down at the bottom of the drive. She'd watered the plants and this hanging basket as well. You can see all the water all over the front door. She's used a hose pipe, I think. Water all over the step, all around the plants. I just said, like, I'm really sorry. I've resanded the bits that I could, but all the damp areas, the sand is just going to go clumpy. I'm going to brush it in, and it's going to clump up and just sort of smear over the surface. And as soon as the sun comes out and everything dries up, the sand's going to drop into the gaps, and there's going to be holes. There's going to be like pinholes everywhere, and so it's pointless me doing it, because you're going to call me back and say I haven't done it properly. And so I did the rest of it as much as I could do, and then I just said, I've left you with half a bag of sand in the garage if you wanted to do that yourself at any point. But I weren't going to let it delay my day. I had quite a lot on Sunday, and I just thought, you knew I was coming, you know, It shouldn't affect my... Oh, I could have waited in the van for half an hour for things to dry up and stuff, but I just thought... No. Oh, so Gutter Vacuum Systems sent me this. I had an email arrive in my inbox the other day, and it said, "Thanks for your order from Gutter Vacuum Systems." I was like, "What? I haven't ordered anything. What's going on?" And I looked at the order, and it was like these nozzles for my gutter vacuum, and the top one here is for like sucking up sludge and water from the driveway. So you can just use the end of the nozzle, the end of the gutter vacuum, but it's sort of concentrated into one spot, so it's not very efficient. So they sent me this, and I can just literally hoover the drive and suck all that sludge and water up if I've got like a flood in a certain area or something. And then the one at the bottom is for like down pipes and drains and stuff, where the 55mm pipe can't get all the way down, which I've experienced before, because there's always screws and stuff going into the side, so your 55mm pole goes down into the down pipe and then it hits a screw. So with this pointy one, it will go a bit further down in and clear those blockages. And then there's a little message at the bottom of the invoice saying, "Thanks for recommending us on your videos." I think they must have been getting lots of inquiries and lots of sales. Well, I know for a fact 2 people have bought machines from them since speaking with me on the live stream last time, so that's pretty cool, isn't it? That was very nice of them to acknowledge me. Quite a lot of money these are as well. You guys want to do a quote together? Anyone interested in that? Unless you guys have got any questions first that you'd like me to try and go through. Happy to do that. Has anyone seen this?
Yeah, 800 quid. 800 quid we got quoted to pressure wash the slabs. I thought, no way, I'm not paying that. I'll just get Claire to do it. How you getting on?
Sorry?
How you getting on?
Yeah, right.
See, this is better than paying 800 quid, isn't it? Yeah, 800 quid. 800 quid we got quoted to pressure wash the slabs. I thought, no way, I'm not paying that. I'll just get Claire to...
I just want to see.
How you getting on?
Sorry?
How you getting on?
Yeah, right.
See, this is...
I'm trying to work out if there's a limestone slabs,
better than paying 800 quid,
which she's probably going to ruin that with that pressure washer.
isn't it?
That's why you pay 800 quid, boy. No, I don't know. No idea. Quote sounds good. Alright. I've got a new pricing structure. So this is the drive that I did. So she got the plants down the front there. Came up really well, to be fair. Very pleased with that one. Okay, so for the quote, we have the measurements, I need to see if I can work out how to put this stream on like low latency, so that, because I know you guys, when you're watching the stream, you're probably like 10 to 20 seconds behind. If I put it on low latency, I think it causes, I think it's potentially like harder on my system and potentially harder on my internet. But I think you guys will see the content as I'm saying it, or as we're talking about it, which might be better for future streams. So I'll figure that out. So we've got a 96 square meters. Let's just round it down to 95. But bearing in mind, I've measured the whole area, and in actuality, there are these. So there's a block paved drive, and there are these bits sort of in between. So when I've measured it at 95 square meters, it's probably more like 75 square meters in reality. So let's go with 75. So it's got this bit here. It's also got the path down the side of the house. Should we agree on that? About 75 square meters. If I've measured the whole area at 95 or 96, is it reasonable to say 75? What are we using here? I've been playing with Google Earth. Yeah, this is Google Earth. Yep. I like these blocks. I don't know if you can see very well, but the joints on these blocks are so thin, and it means less dirt, less moss, less sand coming out from between the joints, less risk of weeds growing back very quickly after you've finished pressure washing it, less sand that you have to buy to brush into the joints, and just generally an easier clean and easier tidy up. So if you come across these blocks, bear with me guys, back in a sec. Yeah, these are the sorts of things I get excited about now. Joint sizes between blocks. So not only are we quoting for this, but he's also asked me to clear the gutters at the front of the house. And the issue here is the bottom gutters are fine, but this row along the top, they've actually got those gutter hedgehogs in them, and so they're going to be a bit of a pain. He wants them removing, cleaning and putting back in, which means I've got to get up there with a ladder. So before, instead of just using the vacuum poles, sucking everything out, I've actually got to climb a ladder, and I don't know how I'm going to position the ladder with this overhang to get up there without standing on the roof. I'm cautious about standing on the roof because it's a very steep one, and also this guy actually fell off his roof and fractured his ankle. And then around the back we've got this conservatory, more gutters. This again, this like overhang gutter hedgehogs going across the top there, which I've got to pull out, clean, put back in. So how I'm going to access those over the top of this conservatory, I don't know. I'll probably have to end up walking on that roof, which isn't as steep as the one at the front, but I just generally don't like walking on roofs. And then clean the top of this conservatory roof as well. He wants that washing, and obviously the gutters clearing out as well. So we're going to price all this up. Beautiful porcelain patio. Can't you ask the owner to foot the ladder to make sure it's secure? Yeah, I feel like even if you're footing the ladder at that angle, it's still a risk. And I think what I could do is maybe back the van up to a very specific position where I can just wedge the bottom of the ladder against the van. So that's an option. Good evening, Dean. It was great meeting you today. Please see your quote below. Damn it. You guys can see everything now. So let's say 75 meters squared, and then we're going to put a squiggly, which I think means roughly, approximately. What does a squiggly mean? Tilde. One number is approximately equal to another number. Approximately equal. Used before a number to mean about or approximately. Used before the number. I've been using it wrong. It needs to go there, but now it looks weird. Because I've got the little dash. Oh, I don't need the dash there. I need the dash afterwards. 75 meters squared, block paved driveway and side path. We're gonna go gutter. We're gonna go gutters. Gutter vacuum. Front and back. And then we're gonna say conservatory roof wash. Not with the oil leak, no, exactly, Stephen. I need to do something about that. Yeah, agreed, Luke. You need a ladder stand, a ladder standoff, and maybe you could eyebolt the ladders to the wall like the Sky engineers do. Yeah, I mean, consider it's not something I do every day. Those guys probably do that regularly. It's too much effort. I'm not really down to start drilling eye holes into people's walls and stuff. And what I will do is I'm going to talk to Callum, who runs Solar Secure. So Callum is very used to being up on roofs. He's got a big set of ladders. He's got all the equipment, and he will potentially come and work on this with me. And if I can give him the gutter cleaning and the conservatory roof clean while I crack on with the driveway, it'll save me a job, and it'll mean I get to work with my friends, so that'll be a bonus. Okay, 75 meters, so let's do 75 times. So my new pricing structure for block paving, including sand, rather than, you know, before when I said I was gonna, depending on how big the job is, I might charge them extra for sand, I might not. Well, now that Travis Perkins have increased their cost of sand from £3.60 up to £6.30, I am charging for sand now. You right, Mishi?
Huh?
You right?
Yeah.
Would you be able to get my charger, please? For my phone. Sorry, thank you. Sorry? Yes, please. So now I'm including the cost of sand in my square meter price, and so it's now going to be, instead of £4 plus sand, it's now going to be £4.50 to wash and resand. Thank you. That is my new price for block paving. And this way I don't need to work out how many bags I'm going to get. I don't need to work out how long it's going to take me. The jobs that I've done over the last couple of weeks, I've divided the block paving jobs. I've taken into account the cost of the wash, the cost of the sand, the labour, time it's taken me. I've divided that number by £4. I've divided it by £4.75, £5, and the number that I'm happy with, that accounts for everything, is £4.50 across all those jobs. So now that's going to be my new price. Good luck. Are you going to time yourself? Yeah, you are.
No, not.
McFlurry on your way home.
Money on your way home.
Check my wallet.
No, just send me the money.
Alright.
Because if you've just got a fire, that's not going to be enough.
Alright.
They're expensive nowadays.
Alright then. Love you. Okay. So £4.50 times 75 is going to be 337. I'm going to round that down to 335. Gutter vacuum front and back. It's safety, and if the customer fell off, I'm sure he wouldn't mind for your safety, or hire a cherry picker. Yeah, I'm not going to hire a cherry picker just to do some gutters on a standard house like that. If it was like a commercial building, maybe, but yeah, I'm not getting involved with all that. I know what you're saying, safety's first, but I'd rather pass it to Callum. Callum's got all the harnesses and the proper gear to get up onto a roof like that safely. Gutter vacuum front and back. So generally, I've been charging, which is cheap, I've been charging 65 quid for gutter vacuum front and back for like a standard house, as long as there's no conservatory or anything. So just for the fact that there's a conservatory on this one, I'm just going to do 70 for the gutters, because there's a strip around the side as well. So £70 just to vacuum out the gutters. If I was just coming to this property just to vacuum out the gutters, that price would probably be slightly higher, because I generally like to do like a minimum call out price, just to make the job worthwhile. But if they're going to go for the pressure washing work as well, then I'm happy with £70 for the gutters. And then conservatory roof wash. I don't know how to price these, to be honest with you guys, because to do a good job on that conservatory roof, I'll be using my water-fed pole, gardener backpack to apply the chemicals, brush it all on. It's probably going to take me 40 minutes, brush on, rinse down, to do a proper job, proper thorough job. Including chemicals, I'm thinking around 65, but I'm happy to take advice on that. About 65 quid for the roof wash. What do you guys reckon on that? Can I get some feedback, please? Hi David, you alright? Missed opportunity, we need the new setup talk with the missus. We could do that when she gets back, if I'm still live. That would make for interesting content, I'm sure. I just whacked myself in the nose with that. Ellis, you're a genius. I actually forgot to do this. We did this last week. And this is what I normally do, is break down the cost of the sand as well. So, resand driveway. I'm just going to pop to the bathroom. Bear with. Squeaky Clean Dave charges per panel. Yeah, a lot of people charge like per meter, or between the clips. Between the hangers is generally like a meter, I think. Maybe 2 meters, I can't remember. 1.5 meters, I reckon, between clips. £5 a panel. Looks very sensible to me. What size hose do you use from house to buffer? Any recommendations? I've got a 90mm hose, 3/4 inch. Could you not try and talk the customer out of the hedgehogs, just taking them out with the vac? Can you get them out with a vacuum? Have you done that before? Because they're so bristly, I don't know if the air would actually allow the suction onto them to be able to pull them out. But I think he wants them back in because he's got a squirrel issue, where squirrels were getting into the property. I'd say increase the gutter price to 80 and keep the price of the conservatory at 65. Much more difficult job doing the gutters, and logically, if they're bothered about money, he may think he'll do it himself. You're right. I mean, the fact that we've got difficult access and those gutter hedgehogs, you are absolutely right. And if I'm paying someone else to do it as well, I want to make sure their time is covered. So if I'm paying Callum and his mate, you know, half a day's work, I should probably account for that in the cost as well, really. So resand, let's knock let's knock 45 off this. So we'll put 45 quid there, and we'll change that to 295. Sorry, 290. So we've got the same price, but we're breaking it down so the customer can see what they're paying for. So that is the cost of the sand, which is covered in my £4.50 per square metre, and the cost of labour to return on a dry day following the wash to resand the drive. I think that's reasonable. And there's the potential here for more customers from this chap, just because he's already mentioned that I think his mother or mother-in-law needs her patio doing as well at some point. Not that I let that sway the price generally, but it would mean that, you know, I'm quite keen to prove that I do a good job. Let's just say that. I'm keen to show him I do good work. American Muscle, hi, just wondering what you guys do with all the muck. I try to use customers' bins, but not everyone has one these days. I put some in mine, but the council didn't take it. Probably because my van gives it away. Yeah, don't be bringing muck home with you. The one thing I learned after doing that myself, and just taking a gamble as to whether the customer had a brown bin, or whether they had a compost pile, or whether they had plant borders that I could shove all the muck into. The thing that I've started to do now is tell them there will be muck gathered from the driveway, from between the joints. Can you please consider a place where I can dispose of this? And at that point they'll say, oh yeah, the green bin's fine, or they'll say I've got a compost pile down the bottom of the garden, or I've got an area where you can, you know, put it under the tree or whatever. Because then you're pushing responsibility back onto the customer, because I don't have a waste carrier's license, so I shouldn't be taking anything home with me. Technically this muck belongs to the customer, so why would I take it away with me, really? And if you are, you're just making work for yourself. You're probably going to get your van filthy. It's like mine, I've got some down the side of the house. Customers sludge from their driveway in a bag. It's obviously all dried out and stuff, but they're just sat in rubble sacks down the side of my house. I've got like 4 or 5 of them that I just haven't had a chance to take down to the tip and get rid of, because I've got a van and I can't get into the tip. You know, and it's not your responsibility. So if you let them know at the time of quoting that you're not going to be able to take any waste away with you, but you will happily bag it up for them or take it to a different area of the property, then it pushes the responsibility onto them. Prince, how you doing, mate? Have you had to use an inside tap with a universal tap cover twisty thing? Yes, I have, David. Yeah, loads of times. I've actually got... I took a picture for the group chat the other day, actually. I've got all the adapters that you can buy, basically, because there are so many different types of taps. Wow, we have sent 227 pictures in this group chat so far, and it's only been going since Monday. Let me see if I can find this picture so I can show you. There we go. So that's just 3 of them. but I've got like another 2, I think. And generally I'll find one that will fit the taps. And if I can't, I'll just knock on the neighbour's door and see if I can use one of their taps and just maybe slip them a £5. Because it's not going to cost them, yeah, it's probably going to cost them about 90 pence per minute with my machine on full whack in water bills, so it's not a lot of money. Sorry, 90 pence per hour, not per minute. Oh, you do them all the time? You vacuum them out with the gutter vacuum. That's good to know. The hedgehog do more damage than good. I totally agree with you. They are like gutter guards in America. They still need to be cleaned. I took some out one of my jobs and they were a nightmare to get back in. Really? Ah, they were difficult to get back in as well. I've never cleaned them before. I'm assuming we're going to take them all out. They're only in the top row, which I suppose is a bonus that they're not all the way around the property, but my plan was to take them out, pressure wash them on the floor just to clean them off, and then just pop them back in. But hopefully that's not like an absolute pain. I will try and maybe convince the customer just to not bother with them, because we looked at a school that had them all in, and they said they're just such a nightmare. We've had them put in 50% of the buildings and they're still blocked. The gutters are still blocked, and if anything they harbour more life and more growth than what a clear gutter would. Sid Partridge explained it quite well in one of his recent videos, where he was actually talking to the customer on camera and saying, this is why I don't think they're a good idea. Yes, Prince, I'm doing well, thanks mate. I use Screwfix bags that allow drainage, leaving the muck in the bag. I tell the customer it's their responsibility to get rid of it. Stephen, did you learn that from one of my videos perchance? So they're like woven polypropylene bags, and yeah, you just scoop all the muck into them, the water drains out the bottom, and then they're left with a very heavy dry bag. I have to go now, but before I do, what's the link for the group chat, please? Stephen, you need to become a paid member of the channel, and then in the members area you will see the link for the group chat. Are you cleaning the outside of the gutters faces on the quote, or is that just to empty them? This is just to vacuum the gutters out. Like I said, I normally charge 55 front and back for like a standard house. This one has got more gutters than a standard house has because it's got a big property, but it's also got a conservatory on the back, which I'm doing the gutters on, and it's got all those hedgehogs in the gutters which I need to remove, clean and put back in. This seems cheap now to me, this 80 quid does. Hello from Ohio. Just reviews, welcome man. Across the pond. How you doing? Oh, you did learn it from my videos, that's good to know. Are we happy with this quote? Let's get a total. 290, 45, 80, 65. 290, 45, 80, 65. 480 in total. I mean, for the amount of work that's involved, and the surface area, coming back on a dry day to re-sand, hedgehogs. Night, Stephen. Thanks for tuning in and watching. They're a ball ache, are they, Ben? Damn it. It was on a conservatory and they had the supports on them, so it had to go back under the hangers. Sorry, Conrad, what are you talking about? The hedgehogs do more damage. Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean with the hedgehogs. Yeah, on a conservatory sometimes you get these weird, I don't know whether the gutters are wider or something, but you get these weird gutter hangers on the inside of the gutters instead of underneath. And so when you're trying to vacuum them out, if you can't see what you're doing, you'll vacuum them out, and then you'll get, the vacuum will like hit something. You're like, what is that? And then you go over the other side and you'll hit it again. You're like, and then you'll go another meter and then you'll hit something again. It's like there's all these little brackets inside. Surface Medic says it's pretty cheap. Ben says definitely a fair price with those hedgehogs. I'm thinking of upping this slightly, just for the amount of work that's involved. I'm going to go 90 on that and bring that up to 490. Are we alright with that? 85, God, true flow. I'm also going to say resanding will be done on a dry day following the wash. Any waste collected, let's put it underneath so you guys can see. Any waste collected from the drive and gutters will be left on site. So please consider a suitable method of disposal. I'd be happy to bag it up or empty into compost pile. Always give your availability to get the ball rolling, so they're thinking less about the price and more when they're able to fit you in. 90 is good too, agreed. This might seem like a strange question for someone getting into the pressure washing, but have you had any issues with people complaining about how much water we all use? Or customers having issues with using their water? No. Although I have seen other people have customers that have complained or said, are you bringing your own water? And it's like, well, not if you want me to actually finish the drive. I can probably do like a good 20 square meters on a full tank, but it will very quickly run out. They are there to support the gutter as there isn't a bracket under them. Yeah, so I guess it just looks neater from the outside. I'm available on this date. Please let me know if you have any questions. Jake. What do we reckon, guys? It's value, but I can't justify $12.99 when I'm trying to buy this really cheap pressure washing equipment. You're talking about the becoming a member, Ellis. Please don't feel obliged at all to spend any money on this channel. I'm very grateful that you're here watching the live streams and watching my YouTube videos. Only become a member if you you feel like you'd get that added value, or if you want to give something back, I suppose, for the content. But I totally understand some people aren't in a position to do that. So if you can just watch my videos, if you can like, subscribe, comment, it helps to boost my content to wider audiences. The more engagement I get, the more people see my videos. JD says, hi bud, have you used the new hypo from Pure Seal? Can you do a review if you do? I haven't, mate. The Pure Seal have got that new 15% nuclear fallout, which is a stronger version of their nuclear Pro. No, I've not ordered it yet. I can only order it in barrels of three 20-litre barrels, because of there's an issue with delivery. Anything, I think to be able to order 20 litres, they'd have to decant it into like 5-litre tubs to be able to post it out, and they said it's just not realistic. So they've got a minimum. It's specifically with that strength of hypo, they have to have like a minimum order quantity of 60 litres. I think Seed Partridge did a block of flats, and it had the hedgehogs in, and they were all cable tied to the gutters. No way. And did he only find that out after he started the job? Because that would be devastating. Rain, how you doing? How do I become a member? You hit join, so near the description, near the like button, near the subscribe button, there should be a join button. And if you can't find it there, some people who are on iPhones haven't been able to find it. I looked on my girlfriend's phone the other day and she couldn't find it. But on the main banner of my main YouTube page, there's a button here saying join. If you can't click that, click on the description. Sorry, not that one. If you can't click on that one, go on any of my videos. And
do more.
There's a join button here. If you can't click that one, go in the description here and click this one. And if you're on an iPhone, you might have to click this button and then open that new link with Safari, and that'll bring you to this page. What a long-winded process, eh? Yeah, you might have to open that link with Safari through the description of the video. So I'll get this quote sent off in the morning. It's probably too late to message the customer now. And we'll see what comes back. I was thinking about resanding the other day and wondering if I should make like a very basic tutorial for resanding, because there's lots of little tips which I think some people would find very useful. Because I've got some footage on my phone of a few recent jobs that I've resanded. So if anyone fancies that tutorial, you'll have to let me know. Jake, I'm off, but it's been a pleasure. Take care, buddy, and stay blessed. Thanks, man. Thanks, Prince. Thanks for joining in. I also did a reel the other day which popped off on TikTok, this one. So the main point was going to be to first of all brush diagonally against the blocks like I'm doing here. So you see I'm trying to brush down the drive. This drive's been laid properly, where the blocks, instead of being parallel to the direction of the drive, they're diagonal. And for anyone who's interested, that's the direction you want to be brushing the sand into. The reason for that is obviously, apart from the bits that you can't, where's the missus for her opinion? So the reason for wanting to brush the sand in diagonally is because if you brush it in parallel with blocks, some areas you're going to leave too much sand in, and the area, the joints that you're brushing against, you're going to actually take the sand out, and so you'll have very high and very low spots when you look at it. And you might think, oh, I'm just looking at it from a certain angle and it's probably fine, but it's actually not. So where possible, you want to brush in this direction. Also, get yourself a good brush that's got stiff bristles on the outside and soft ones on the inside. So the stiff ones will help you move more sand. Because when you're pushing a heavy pile of sand, if you've got like a very floppy soft bristle brush, you're not going to have enough substance behind it to actually move the sand. And then for the finer areas where you're just trying to give it a light dusting, that's where the soft bristle brush is fine. But if you can get one with both, like this bulldozer brush, then it'll do both jobs in one. Also, something I found out on this the poolside job that I did, which hadn't occurred to me before, but on this one, on these blocks underneath the shelter, they're obviously a lot smoother than the ones on the outside, which was showing the aggregate through. You can see on this bit here where all the aggregate's coming through the blocks, but on the inside they're still like nice newish looking blocks. And what I found was that the area underneath the shelter where they're smoother took me minutes to resand that area, but the area outside around the shelter, because the blocks were a lot rougher, it was taking me a lot longer to just move the sand and get like a nice finish between the blocks. And I hadn't thought of that before, and now it makes sense looking back at some of the bigger jobs I've done where the resanding has just gone really well and I've been done fairly quickly, and then looking at some of the smaller jobs that I've done where I've like been surprised at how quickly the resanding has took me compared to others. It makes sense that the type of brick will actually affect how long it takes to resand. And also, these blocks that have got the little chamfered edge take a lot longer to resand than, say, for example, these blocks do. Because again, the joints are smaller, but also the ones that I did today, these ones, the joints are around about the same size as the other blocks that with the chamfered edge, but the difference with these joints are that they're flat. There's no chamfer on them, and so your brush, there's no resistance against your brush. The sand is just falling into those gaps, and you're just brushing over the top of the surface. Whereas with the chamfered ones, you're putting more pressure on the brush to try and get the sand out from those chamfers, and just leave them in the thin valley of the joint. So these ones are always a dream to resand. Really nice and easy. Again, you still want to be going diagonally against these blocks. Surface Medics, Soph has gone swimming. She's getting back into swimming now, and so she's Monday nights are quite a good opportunity because I'm here doing this. Maya's in bed, so we're not really spending time with each other anyway. So she can sort of head off and get some swimming. And she used to swim in the nationals, so she's a pretty good swimmer, and she hasn't done it for years, and so she's slowly getting back into it. Do you have a price for a business gutter clean? No, I normally charge a day rate, but I realised after doing a few schools that I was way undercharging, because I could do a whole school. I did a whole school building. It was fairly hefty. It was a significant area, and I did it in a day and a half. And so my day rate at that time was about 235 quid. 235 plus 120, for example, 355. So 355 quid for a day and a half's work. I'd travelled like an hour to get there, so a 2-hour round trip. And if this was a domestic property that I was cleaning, I'd have probably done maybe 10 properties. In terms of surface area, I'd have probably cleared the gutters from 10 properties. And I'm just thinking of the cost difference. Like, if I could have charged 10 properties 65 quid, 650 quid that I'd be earning in my hometown, wouldn't have to travel that far. And I just think charging a day rate on a job like that, and you can't really justify it otherwise. Like, how do you justify if I give them a quote of, I think they pushed me in the direction of, what's your day rate? They kept asking me, what have you got a day rate in mind? And I was like, I don't normally charge by day rate, but okay, I will this time. And I regretted it, and so I'm not going to be doing that again. I'm actually going to charge. I'm going to charge based on the length of gutters, I think, for big commercial jobs. It's difficult. McFlurry afterwards again. Don't forget the apple pie. Yes, boys, you know the drill. Did you sort out the van oil leak? It looked very clean. You must have just had the oil changed. I hope your oil filter is tight. The oil is leaking from the top, and I think it looked cleaner because it was on a clear surface. I don't think oil normally looks that clean when it drips onto the pavement. The oil is coming from a breather at the top of the engine above the turbo. There's like a loose breather fitting, and it should be a simple fix, but it's a very specific fitting that needs to go into the breather pipe. Basically, I need to order a part, and I'm being lazy. I had to switch to desktop version to get the join button. Oh, that's interesting. How did you approach the schools to get the work? It's a strange thing. It actually came through my niece's granddad, who's a carpet cleaner for that school. And he told me they got a quote, and basically I should approach them with a lower quote, which I did, and I got the work. So those sorts of things don't happen very often. Very strange series of events. Guys, I can keep going for a while. To be honest, I've got through my list of things that I wanted to talk about. Have you guys got any questions? You can be as specific as you like. I'd be happy to go into anything in more detail. Oh, I know what I need. If I end up moving my tank, I need like a different, like a tank elbow. Elbow. I don't know what size the screw is. Oh, they've got brass elbows, all different sizes. Ooh, that's good to know. Possibly something like that. Basically, if I move my tank towards the back of the van, the wheel arches will get in the way of the ball valve at the bottom of the tank. So I need to take that ball valve off, turn it 90 degrees, so that it's still, yeah. I had a question, it's a bit above. Sorry, mate. Ah, sorry, I missed that. Not sure if you missed my question before. You asked 2 questions and I've missed both of them. I'm so sorry. That is poor performance by me. What are your thoughts on dual lance? I did read it and I think I was halfway through a thought. Sorry, mate. Can you put your turbo nozzle on a dual lance? So, if you're going to go dual turbo, twin turbo, wonder if they've got one. Here we go. So if you're going to do something like this, you need to half the nozzle size, the hole size. So say for example I'm running a 045, or say for argument's sake, let's say I'm running a 050 hole size in my turbo nozzle. To spread that flow across 2 nozzles and not restrict my machine, I need to have 2 025s. I don't see the point in twin turbos unless you've got like a really high power machine that's putting out like monster flow. For example, if I do upgrade to that 30 litre per minute machine, that's when like a twin turbo would make probably a lot of sense, because you've got the power. If I did it on my 15 litre per minute machine now, I'm splitting that 15 litres per minute across 2 nozzles, instead of just one, so they're both going to be weaker than if I just had one. Yes, it's covering a wider area, but they're both going to be weaker. But if I had double the power that I'm getting now from my machine, that might make sense. People rave about them, and it looks impressive. It's cool to look at, but I don't know if it's speeding up the job. But I've never tried one, so. I could put my turbo nozzles on a dual lance, yeah. Do you add the van and machine fuel into meters into square meter price? Yeah. Yeah, I mean the machine is probably using. I mean, today I got through about 10 litres of fuel. No, 15 litres of fuel I got through in the machine today. Definitely. No, like I'm not too worried about the cost of fuel. That's all accounted for in my price. It's not that expensive really when I'm not using that much of it. But definitely if there's travel, if you've got to travel like an hour and a half to get somewhere, I'm accounting for the travel time that I'm losing where I could be working, and I'm also accounting for the fuel that I'm spending. So at what point do you switch to a day rate and not the usual £4 per square meter? Ellis, this is a question that I don't know the answer to yet. How do you let's say for example let's say we've got these tennis courts to clean, or this is a big car park or whatever. If I were to give a true square meterage cost for this, 2,227, so let's round it up to 2,230. So this is a block paved car park and I was staying true to my £4.50 per square metre. That would be 10 grand to clean and resand that car park. Now yes, it's a hefty area, but with two of us we could potentially get that cleaned in a day. Two people with, you know, decently high power machines, you could probably get that cleaned in a day, maybe two. Maybe three. And then the cost of the sand, which will be significant. But is it 10 grand's worth? I don't think it is. But then if you're charging a day rate, 235 quid a day, and it's going to take you 4 or 5 days in total to resand it as well. 235 times 4 days times 2 for 2 people. So that's only 1,800 quid. And your day rate's not accounting for the sand either, or the fuel being used. So I don't know the answer to that question. I want to give the customer value for money, but at the same time, if this was a residential property with a driveway, or multiple residential properties with multiple driveways that added up to this square meterage, the money that I'd be earning from those jobs would go way beyond what I can earn from a day rate. So I don't know if anyone's got any advice on this. If a job's really small, how do you work it out? I've got a minimum call out fee for pressure washing of £125. So if a job is 20 square meters, which equals £84 with my pricing structure at the moment. The minimum cost for that job would go straight up to 125, because there's just no point in me even setting the equipment up for that price. I'd rather just book in a different job. I'd rather just not take that job. I'm sorry, I need the toilet again. Back in a sec. I've pretty much missed the live tonight, being on the phone catching up with mate. No worries, Charlie. I mean, you could always watch it back. These live streams get uploaded straight away after I hit the end button. It gets uploaded as a regular video in the live section. Divide your litres per minute by 3 for 3 nozzles. Yeah, it sort of doesn't seem worth it, does it? How/where did you study or gain experience? Was it all just self-taught? Yeah, to be honest, I don't actually recall watching any YouTube videos when I first started. I think I read quite a lot about. I joined the forums. I joined the Facebook forums. I call them forums. They're just Facebook pages. And I just watched what people posted. I probably asked the occasional stupid question that all the new people ask. But the one thing I wanted to do was just buy my first machine and just start using it. And that's what I did. I started on friends and family stuff. I couldn't wait to get it. It's quite exciting. Like, I feel like you don't really get this in many industries, like window cleaning. Are you really that excited to use your new window cleaning purchase? Your new squeegee? Gardening, like, are you really that excited to go and maybe use your new mower? But I was quite excited to get going, really. But yeah, just self-taught. Lots of research online. Watch some YouTube videos. Get the basics for each surface. How to clean each surface without damaging it is probably a good start. I meant a standard dual lance with adjustable pressure handle. Ooh, I thought about that today, spick and span. Because when I went over to H2O, they let me have a go on one of them dual lances that have got the handle on it that you can turn, and basically it's got 2 nozzles, one's full pressure and one's nothing, and then when you turn the handle, the other one starts firing water out, and so it reduces the pressure of both. One's like a fan jet and one's like quite a precise jet. And I was wondering, can I stick a turbo nozzle on that? Because I've found that in certain areas I've wanted, like with a turbo for example, if I'm turbo nozzling and I go near a corner or near quite like a fragile area, I've been wanting to turn the pressure down without having to walk back to the van to adjust the pressure. So I don't know. They just had what looked like fixed nozzles on the end of them, But I'm sure you could unscrew it and put a little quick release fitting on there. But I don't know. Good question though. Mad that we've both been thinking about that at the same time, isn't it? I want to show you guys a video from the other day. I've got a couple of videos I'm just going to upload to my Google Drive because I think you'll find them quite interesting. Let that do its thing for a minute. You think the double one was for roof clearing? Yeah, so that particular one was, but you can get a twin turbo lance. So this is the sort of one that Spick and Span's talking about, I think, with the adjustable nobule, and then you can put whichever ones you want in there. I reckon you can screw a quick release fitting in there and stick a turbo on there. I wonder. But you've also got the twin turbo. So this one's fixed, I think, by the looks of it. But the one on the swivel is for roof cleaning, yeah. Oh, no worries, RB. Thanks for watching, mate. Have a good night. How much extra pressure hose would you recommend? So 20 meters will be plenty if you're taking the machine around the property with you. 10 or 20 meters is fine. But if you're van mounting your machine, I'd recommend a total of maybe 50. I'm running 40 plus a 10 meter extension. Ideally, I've not needed it yet, but ideally I'd probably want like 60. I think 60 would be the sweet spot. Okay, they've uploaded. I'm just going to download these. I use the dual lance as my washdown. Can't add the turbo nozzle into it. We'll send a photo of mine to the group tomorrow. Got it from Rutland Pumps. That's cool. Yeah, I can imagine it would work really well as a rinse down nozzle. I thought the dual lance looked great for washdown till I seen Jake's orange one. I'm going to see if my GX390 brings the dog bed up well. That's one way to use it, I suppose. A day rate doesn't sound worth it. I'd look at reducing your square meter price on the larger area. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. Is on a big area, I'll bring the cost of the square meterage down. And that way I've still got a process rather than just guessing. Charlie says, Jake, if I recall correctly, Spinner Clean do a fitting that goes in line onto a 22mm fitting lance that is adjustable to reduce the pressure. Ooh. I wonder what you'd call it. A pressure. Oh, look at these. I think I tested one of these from the Equip to Clean training day. It wasn't really a training day, they were just, I think they just wanted to show you their products so that you could buy stuff off them. But this is like an edging tool. So you don't chop the grass, I suppose. I've been thinking about getting one of these water brooms with the 3 nozzles on, like that. I think that'd be quite useful on the bigger jobs. Like that, now that I've experienced the orange nozzle. Imagine 3 of them next to each other. That'd be sick. So what would you call the adjustable pressure? I didn't know they did all this sort of stuff. I wouldn't even know what to search. You can have a quick release on the end of one side. Is that Legit Fire? Am I reading that right? That's a cool name, Legit Fire. Howdy bud, just got to say thanks for the content as I'm planning on starting my own business up. Your videos have been very helpful and informative. Thank you, man. I appreciate you taking the time to comment and let me know. That's really cool, thanks. How do you charge for sealing? I have a massive 200-meter block paved driveway. Equip to Clean, my mistake. Oh, you're talking about Equip to Clean? So regarding sealing, what I'd say for your first few jobs is figure out the cover, get the product that you want to use, the sealer that you want to use, figure out the coverage as per the instructions, times that by the surface area, consider how long it's going to take you, half a day, 2 days, consider the equipment that you need to buy, incorporate that all into the price, and then that price that you're left with, divide that by the meter squared. So divide that price by 200, and then you'll get your, it sounds backwards, but then you'll get your price for cleaning, sanding and sealing. You'll get your price per square meter. Do 3 quotes, do 2 or 3 quotes where you include all that cost, divide it by the square meterage and see what you get. And then you can you'll have a guide then. I think mine is around about £7.50 to £8, but I haven't done enough quotes yet to get like a perfect guide that I'm happy with. Josh, thanks for watching, mate. Two secs. Sorry, I heard some banging. Thanks for the link, Charlie. Oh, look at that. I think I have seen this. Adjustable high to low pressure regulator coupling. That is interesting. That would save a lot of walking back and forward to the van. Designed to fit after the gun, before the lance. After the gun, like after the trigger, before the lance. That's pretty interesting. I might have to get one of them just to test it out. How long do you think that's going to last? I wonder how it's made, like inside. I wonder if anywhere else does it. Something like that, maybe. I don't know, that's cool. I might have to get one of them. It's just because I charge £3.50 for cleaning and sanding, but I was thinking of charging £8 for sealing. Was a little worried of charging them so much because it would come to $2,300 and would likely miss out on the job. Look, on an area 200 square meters, if the customer has requested sealing, break down the quote like I've done here so that they can see how much it's going to cost just to clean it, how much it's going to cost to resand it, and then just the cost of the sealer alone will probably put them off. I don't know what you'd need on 200 square meters. I mean, I just did you probably get for two coats of sealer on 200 square meters. You're probably going to need the best part of like 60 litres, aren't you? I don't know. It seems like a lot. And then the labour involved in applying all that sealer. That's their choice. And if their reason for sealing that block paving is because they're convinced that you're not going to get any weeds back, then they're totally wrong, and you need to let them know. You know, this is not weed prevention. Weeds will always come back, and if that's your reason for sealing 200 meters squared of block paving, then they should probably reconsider. You might want to consider selling them instead on 200 meters worth of cleaning, a strong hypo treatment on the whole area, resanding, and then a follow-up biocide maintenance plan every 8 months. Return to apply biocide every 8 months to stop any organic growth. Maybe even do the first biocide treatment like a couple of weeks after the drive's been cleaned, just to get it on there, so there's no organic growth being allowed to come back after you've cleaned it. I have the shut-off valve on the end of the hose before the trigger. Yeah, I've got a ball valve on the end of my hose as well. Adam, trust me, you'd rather miss out on a job than underpricing a sealing job. Sealing can turn into a nightmare. Charge well. Jack, that is very good advice. I just sealed you've probably seen on my, if you guys are watching my YouTube videos and stuff, you'd have seen it on there, but I recently sealed this one and thought it went really well. How long ago was it? Here we go. Recently sealed this one. 75 meters squared, block paving. So this is a pretty big sealing job really for me, 75 meters squared. And it looked great when I left. This is how it looked. Very happy with it. And then when I went back, it was covered in white splotches, clouded over white, where the sealer had failed because I'd applied it in too high a temperature. This one took I think it took about 25 litres a coat, maybe 30 litres a coat. So that's 2 coats, so say 60 litres. So that's 75 square meters, 60 litres for 2 coats. So you imagine how much sealer you're going to need on 200 square meters. It's going to be insane. Didn't seem worth it. I feel like the customer's not, they're either not informed or their expectations are that once it's sealed I'm not going to get weeds, which isn't the case. So for this customer I broke that down and I said, why have you asked me to seal it? What are you hoping to get from the sealer? And she said, well, the weeds won't come back. I said, that's not true. So first of all, that any fresh seeds that are blown onto the drive from overhanging foliage, which she's got a tree on her property. She's got a tree just there, look. And then there's lots of other big trees down the street as well. And they're constantly blowing seeds. There's going to be bird poo, there's going to be all sorts containing seeds that are going to fall between the joints and eventually grow weeds. There's also going to be really stubborn weeds that do find their way up. Even though that sand has been solidified in the joints, there are still very stubborn weeds that are still alive that are going to poke back up. The other thing I'd say, if you are going to seal any surface, I'd recommend a strong chemical treatment just to allow the sealer to hold those weeds at bay, just to give it like a fighting chance. So you pressure wash the drive, strong hypo treatment on the whole drive, and that way you're doing your best to sort of kill any remaining weeds or you know, it's not going to be good for the weeds. It's not a weed killer, but it's going to help. And then you seal the surface after you've thoroughly rinsed it. I recently went back to this one. I'm still editing the video where I went back to this one to reapply the xylene, and it long story short, it worked. These are the blocks that I was talking about earlier. Super thin joints. You barely use any sand on these ones. Really, really nice to sand those are. Hiya Naz, you're right. So I was on Facebook. There was a cleaning company advertising services people were commenting on, but the company didn't reply. I messaged the people offering my services. Thoughts on getting work this way? It does sound a little bit scummy, but I mean, just because those people aren't replying, they might be replying through DMs. Personally, I wouldn't necessarily be chasing work like that. I I don't really even respond in the you know, the recommendation groups. When someone puts out a post for their area and they'll say, does anyone recommend a pressure washing company? I don't really comment on those anymore. But to be fair, I've got other people sort of commenting for me, so I haven't asked them to. Just people recommend me in the area, and there's like the same 5 or 6 people that always comment Smelts pressure washing in the recommendations, so that's nice. I don't know whether it's just not wanting to come across as desperate or something. I don't know. Like, I'm alright for work at the moment. I've got plenty. I suppose when you get to a point where you've got your calendar booked up for like 3 or 4 weeks, you're not necessarily chasing work anymore. It just sort of comes in, which I know it's a very privileged, nice position to be in. And it's not like that for everyone, especially if you're just starting your business. But that's just my experience. True Flow, thanks for watching, mate. Have a good night. Thanks for the feedback. Decking turning green, what's best for it without bleaching it to prevent green algae regrowing? Coil, if you've got Spotify, I'd recommend someone put me onto this the other day. So this is the Soft Washing Podcast on Spotify with Mark Cave. So I've listened to most of these now, and the one you're looking for is, can you use sodium hypochlorite to clean wood? And this goes into detail about washing decking and exactly what to do. You can still use hypo on decking without bleaching the wood, but there's a very kind of specific method to doing that. And if you've got Spotify, there's only a few on there so far that I haven't listened to them all, but there's only a few that I would really find useful because I'm pretty good with my chemicals now. But if you're new to it, I'd definitely give this a listen. Lots of little nuggets of information. Those are always the best, aren't they? The little nuggets. The little things, little pieces that you collect that you think, ah, I didn't think of that. Or, ah, that's how it works. Nuggets. I believe you say it like this over in the UK. I'm knackered, off to bed. Good night, Jake and the rest. Spick and span. Good night, mate. Thanks for watching. Everyone's going to bed. Should I go to bed? It's 10:30. I'm waiting for Soap to come back with my McFlurry. Then blocks are Savannah. Is that what it's called? Oh yeah, you're right. These are some of the nicest block pavers to clean, I've found. Particularly the ones without the chamfered edge. These have got the little tiny chamfer. So they're not perfect, but if you get the ones without the chamfer, those are the loveliest to clean. This is very geeky, isn't it? Talking about what type of block pavers are the nicest to clean. I posted it in a Facebook group for exterior cleaning. I had about 5 people saying that they could do it for about 700 quid. To clean 200 square meters for 700 quid and seal it. I don't think you should try and compete with that, to be honest. No worries, Coil. Guys, I'm going to leave it there because I'm feeling good about that stream. I don't want to drag it on any longer than it needs to go. I feel like I've spoken about everything I wanted to speak about. Oh, last thing. Sorry, before you go. Last thing. Let me show you these videos. I'll send that quote off tonight. So look at what Look at what these guys over at H2O have just invested in. Look at this. So these are two Briggs & Stratton, I think they're like 24 horsepower machines, 23 horsepower. Very high flow, probably like upwards of 30 litres per minute. Vanguard. Sorry, I meant Vanguard, not Briggs & Stratton, but I think they are Briggs & Stratton Vanguard engines, aren't they? Or is it the pumps that are Briggs & Stratton? I can't remember. But they've got these boilers on the back. What a setup. That's that twin lance he's using over there, look. And then also sorry, I'm trying to download these videos from my phone through Google Drive, which is an annoying way to do it because I can never see what I'm trying to download when I plug my phone into the computer. I just get blank thumbnails. I don't actually get images of the videos. 255579. Download that one. Download anyway. Download. Here we go. Mark, thanks for watching, mate. See you next week. New to the channel, been watching more often for some nuggets of info. Thanks, Johnny. Welcome to the channel, mate. And then they've got this as well, look. Electric reels. High pressure electric reels. Absolute monsters. This is Lee from H2O. And then we had a little play. So that was fun. I don't want to install Spotify. I've already got it. Oh man. There we go. Right guys, I'm going to leave you to it. Thank you all for watching. Have a great night. I appreciate all the new members tonight. I'll get you added to the WhatsApp group as soon as possible. And thanks for the support. If you're enjoying the videos, please like, subscribe, comment, engage with the videos in some way so that it pushes new people, pushes my content in front of new people. I really do appreciate you all. Thank you. I really enjoy doing this. And if you guys are getting those nuggets, then that's the main thing, isn't it? See you in a bit.